Chrysler 200. It's a name that conjures imagery of insipidity and rental car lots. Fortunately, with the arrival of the completely redesigned second generation model, that's all about to change.
Look past that all too familiar badge, and it's plain to see the latest Chrysler 200 shares nothing in common with its predecessor, which is a great thing. And I'm not the only one who thinks so.
The most noticeable clue to this comprehensive revamp is seen in the 200's striking bodywork. Chrysler says the design was inspired by nature and classic American design elements found in products like Chris-Craft boats and Airstream trailers. Whatever the source, the finished product is both visually appealing and inherently aerodynamic, producing a best-in-class 0.27 coefficient of drag. The lone flaw with this otherwise handsome design is the awkward asymmetrical presentation of the stereoscopic camera and radar sensor that direct the optional adaptive cruise control and collision mitigation systems. Moving inside, the 200's passenger compartment adopts a similar measure of a motion-driven style. Available open-pore trim adds an upscale character to the user-friendly layout, while Chrysler's rotary gear selector and configurable digital gauge cluster project an impression of modernity.
Believe it or not, the 200's cabin feels markedly more upscale than the bigger and more expensive 300. For starters, the quality of the switchgear materials ranks near the top of the class. Storage space is more than plentiful, and in-vehicle connectivity is second to none.
On that note, the center stack is home to the latest generation of Chrysler's Uconnect Access infotainment system, which provides access to multimedia, a variety of mobile apps, and arguably the finest factory navigation system available through a massive 8.4-inch touchscreen.
And in the event you just awakened from a soap opera-esque coma and forgot how to drive, Chrysler labeled the speedometer and tachometer just for you. The only complaint I have with the interior is the ever-present lumbar support. Granted, this is a matter of personal preference, but we do recommend that those with sensitive spines schedule a lengthy test drive before breaking out the checkbook.
Rear seat occupants are greeted to 37.6 inches of legroom, equating to a 1-inch advantage over the Chevy Malibu and Hyundai Sonata, and a 1-inch disadvantage to the Toyota Corolla and Honda Accord. Behind the rear seats, however, the 200 offers more trunk space than larger mid-size sedans like the Volkswagen Passat and Nissan Altima. The latest 200 is also a frontrunner when it comes to driving dynamics.
On the highway, the 200 is noticeably quieter than the Honda Accord and Toyota Camry. The standard 4-cylinder engine provides just enough power for spirited lane changing and merging, and the steering is nicely weighted. Gear changes are hesitant at times, but the 9-speed transmission does an admirable job of sending power to the ground without much fuss. That said, the functional benefit of a transmission that utilizes as many gears as a mountain bike is minimal at best.
As for powertrain specifics, the standard Tiger Shark 2.4-liter 4-cylinder produces 184 horsepower while returning up to 23 mpg in the city and 36 mpg on the highway. For an extra $2,000 or so, you can drive home with an unnecessarily powerful 295 horsepower Pentastar V6 that still nets reasonable fuel economy scores of 19 mpg in the city and 32 mpg on the highway. Snowbelters will also revel in the fact that the Chrysler 200 is also one of only 3 mid-size sedans to offer all-wheel drive, though you'll have to dish out upwards of $30,000 to get it. And so long as we're on the topic, pricing starts in the mid-$22,000 range and tops out just under $37,000 for a fully loaded 200C model with high-end goodies like ventilated front seats, a panoramic moonroof, Uconnect Access infotainment and 24/7 telematics, a heated steering wheel, and HID headlights. Base attire consists of passive entry and push-button start, a 60/40 split rear seat, LED interior lighting, and a multi-information display. Though it pains us to say it, Bluetooth connectivity is not included as standard fare. Nevertheless, this respectable balance between equipment and price, coupled with a 5-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, makes the 200 a recommendable choice in our book, which leads us to a startling admission.
It feels weird saying it, but the Chrysler 200 is a good car. They know,
Today is not a busy day.
Anyway, for some American car buyers, it might take some time to forget the past and accept Chrysler for what it is today. By the same measure, the firm's residual values still lag behind many of its competitors. But, if nothing else, the latest 200 does prove that good things can come from unexpected places. Against all odds, Chrysler has successfully elevated the 200 to be a true competitor for established nameplates like Camry, Accord, and Altima.